I want to do something a little different in this video. It's kind of like a video essay reflection. I think it'll speak to some people. If not, it's, I guess, just me speaking to myself. But I feel I almost didn't want to record a video, and it's been a while since I've uploaded. I've let that feeling prevail time and time again. But it's almost like I allow my mood to influence my actions when I should instead focus on the momentum, focus on the outcome, and focus on getting the results that I'm after. Focus on doing and getting it done. Leave the mood, leave the thinking on the back end, so to speak. Because as I'm here in front of my computer, part of me doesn't feel like filming. I don't know if I look good enough. I don't know if the video will be good, if anyone will watch it, if the brand makes sense. But I do know that if I keep waiting to feel ready, I'm going to stay in the same place that I was yesterday, a week ago, a month ago, and if I'm not careful, the same place that I was in years ago. And I don't want that. And that's kind of why I'm here right now. I'm going towards the front line, so to speak, to face myself, to put the mood aside and focus on the momentum. Because the real battle is not the action itself, in this case of making content online. It's not being in front of the camera, the algorithm, the competition of all the other people who post videos, whether people will like this or watch it for more than 2 seconds. The real battle is whether I can keep a promise to myself, even when my emotions aren't cooperating, even when I don't feel like it. That's a habit that I want to develop, and that's what I'm pushing myself to do. Because at a certain point in time in life, no one's coming to help you, no one's coming to save you. Everyone's got their own thing going on, and no one really cares. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's about keeping myself accountable, especially being in a situation where I don't want to stay in the same place that I'm at. And to change, I have to take actions and do things differently than I've ever done before. I feel like I'm not the only one that may feel stuck right now. I think a lot of men maybe can relate, especially when going through a journey of transformation. It's not because you lack ambition or because you lack goals, but perhaps because you keep negotiating with the part of yourself that wants comfort and familiarity. And I get it, because there's times I want that too, especially after coming home from a full day of work. I don't necessarily want to have to work more, but I think that's a perception issue, and that's also your old habits and identity clinging on. During transformation, there's going to be times where you meet that inertia, where you meet almost like resistance to change, even though it's the right thing to do, or it's the important thing, it's the thing that you want to do. There's times where you may want the better body, the better income, the better life, a stronger identity, but moments come when you want to actually do it, but then suddenly your old habits start to kick in, or your mind starts to give you 30 reasons not to do it. You'll start coming up with distractions and excuses. I'm learning that you have to tune a lot of this out. You have to tune out the noise and open up your awareness. I've caught myself in this cycle of even doom scrolling or just facing the fact that I'm not showing up for myself. And I have to ask why. And I think every now and then we all have to. Because I don't think readiness will come before action. I'm starting to realize even confidence, it's action after you take the action. Confidence is evidence after you take the action. It's not something that comes before. It can, but it doesn't always show up. So what do you do in that situation when you don't feel confident or you don't feel ready? I'm learning that you go for it anyways. That's the only way you're really going to develop new skills and truly make progress in this journey of transformation. The channel here is about building momentum, and as you can see, sometimes momentum can fade, but as long as you stay committed to the path, you can pick yourself up again. You can go back to the gym or go back to the diet and do it better the next time around. I feel like by choosing to do the hard thing, by putting yourself outside your comfort zone, you put yourself in the best position to gain clarity. You put yourself in the best position to start to develop self-trust and momentum. Clarity can come from creating, moving, trying, and failing forward. It doesn't always come from thinking everything out bit by bit, step by step. And I think to people who overthink, they can relate to that. We try to think our way to success or think our way to achieving our goals, and that's important, but in and of itself, it's not enough. It's not the whole side of things. So what this channel is really about is not me acting like I have all the answers. It's about me documenting the process of rebuilding my life, especially at my age, where you're kind of in that middle ground of grown enough to do your own thing, but not old enough to really know what you're doing at the same time. I'm focused on rebuilding my life and getting out of my own head. I'm focused on getting back into the present and a position of self-trust, self-accountability, and self-reliance. And from there, I think you'll gain self-confidence if you can just make the decision to show up. Even if you don't feel ready, even if you don't feel confident, even if you don't feel like doing it, that's going to make you so much stronger and prepared. And when the time comes and you do feel like it, that's just going to be a breeze. But these are times that test us. And I think it's like the universe giving you the opportunity to show yourself if you're actually serious about the goals that you set forth, about the transformation in front of you. Another thing I'll add is coming to terms with the fact that transformation, change, doing things for yourself that requires you to get out of your default mode, it's not always going to be easy, but it can be simple. Getting back into the present moment, choosing action, choosing to show up again, to follow through and finish what you start, choosing to create more than you consume, even if you don't feel inspired to do so. These are the habits that will strengthen our resolve to really create the life that we want. And I think that's where I'm at, is I'm learning how to do that. I'm learning how to choose action instead of overthinking. I'm learning how to choose creativity over consumption. And I'm coming to terms with having to make certain sacrifices to get to a new level, a new evolution of who I am as a being, my consciousness, and the life that I want to live. So if you're watching this and there's something you need to do, whether it's recording that video, studying for that class, going to the gym, applying for that job, starting the business, having the conversation, cleaning your room, fixing your finances, whatever it is, you don't always need to feel ready to begin, and you don't always need to feel ready to continue the momentum. We may feel ready in the beginning. Think of New Year's, January, that momentum, the shift of something new is exciting. But what happens when the shininess starts to fade? Or what happens when it's a rainy day? Or you just don't feel like it? That's when I think the real test begins. And this video is for people who are in that situation. If you ever find yourself in that moment, in your journey of transformation, but you're being met with resistance from yourself, I would say choose action, even if you don't feel like it. Because the idea of your transformation is not enough. The follow through, the choice to show up again and again every day to the best of your abilities, that's what's going to make the difference. And that's something that can't be bought. That's something that has to be chosen. You have to decide that for yourself again and again. It doesn't stay difficult forever. That's part of momentum, is that eventually things become simpler when the new habit becomes part of your identity. But we have to be careful to get out of our own way, especially when we're looking to change our lives for the better. I think human nature to find an easy route, but we have to evolve, I think, beyond the lower levels of humanity, of human consciousness, of wanting to just get by. At least that's something I feel called to do, and that's why I aspire myself. I try to motivate myself, and I take inspiration and motivation from others to do just that. Because knowing that each and every one of us is the only one capable of changing our lives, I realize I have to show up for myself. And in turn, that's going to allow me to show up for those that I care about. You don't always need to feel ready, but you do need to show up and follow through. And just by doing that alone, you'll start to feel like you're gaining that momentum. You'll start to feel the transformation and the results from your actions. I'm filming this because I need to become the kind of person who shows up. Not once, not when it's convenient, but repeatedly, every day. And so I'm making this video to hold myself accountable, to show up again, and to put the reps in like we've talked about in previous videos. And I hope this helps inspire others, the random person that may be watching this, and maybe that's how everything starts to change. It's not one action overnight, but it's simple, small steps taken over a long period of time. weeks, months, dare I say it, even years. But it all starts with today. It all starts with this moment. And that's, I guess the main message there is getting out of my own head, even my feelings, acknowledging them, but setting them aside. Because time's going to pass by anyways. And if you're not careful, you're going to get stuck in a negative feedback loop where you let your feelings hold you back, and then you get upset with yourself later on because you didn't do what you wanted to, or you didn't follow through, or you didn't keep the promise to yourself. Follow through. Be the person that you need to be. I guess that's one of the messages for myself today. You have it in you. You have what it takes to succeed, but you have to show up for yourself. You have to make the choice every day. Don't give in to the excuses and don't give in to the distractions. And from there, you'll start to see the transformation. You'll start to see the results. And I think, at least for me personally, I think you'll start to like yourself better because you'll see that you're serious and you become someone you trust. I think you'll become someone you believe in, and you'll even become someone you love. Momentum really starts when action begins and negotiation with your own feelings, your own excuses ends. So do the thing imperfectly. Don't overthink it. And just allow yourself to commit, especially as a young man, even an old man in general. It's important to have that sense of commitment to yourself and becoming the best version that you can. I think that's how we inspire change, and I think that's how we change not only ourselves, but in the long term can learn to change the world. All right, real quick, I do want to keep one of my promises with my subscribers. I did mention, guys, in the last video, for the people who commented, that I'd give you a shout out. So let's look at the comments. Shout out to this user, Branzo29. They wrote, "Heavy duty, much obliged, mahalo." Thank you for commenting. Thank you for coming around. And I do apologize for taking a long time to upload again, but I'm here and I'm still going through it on the journey. Even if it's not on camera, day by day, going through it, and I'm sure you are too. Let's continue to build a community where we show up for ourselves and for each other. Until next time, much love, many blessings, and as always, good things to you and yours. Take care, and I'll see you in the next episode.